Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester. Panhandle Outdoors, your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. Glad you're here this Friday morning. Going to wrap up a good week here on the show and a good week of weather, last couple of days anyway. And today, though, it's going to be cool. It's not going to get out of the 50s. It's 58 degrees. It will be the high. Low will be 41 tonight. Weather, of course, always brought to us by Haney Technical Center at the corner of Baldwin and Highway 77. Water temperature yesterday was 60 degrees. Today is 61. Okay, so it's starting to go up a little bit, and that's something so critical. I know a lot of y'all think I overemphasize this water temperature, because it is so important to these migratory fish, and just because it starts going up a little bit, it's going to go up and come back down, go up and come back down. So we'll do that chart like we do every spring and let you know what's going on. Take a look at our river readings. The Apalachicola of Bluntstown, it's low, it's lower than it was yesterday, but it's leveling off a little bit tonight. And in the morning, it's going to be pretty level at Bluntstown now. Downriver, it'll be dropping a little bit. Right now, it's reading 11.9, so right at 12 foot this morning. It's going to drop on down, get on down to close to 10 by the end of the weekend. The Choctawhatchee at Caryville, a lot of y'all will be over there trying to fish, and it's going to be in good shape. It's dropping. It's at 8.4, and it's going to level off starting Saturday afternoon. So that's always a good sign up there. So down toward the bay, though, it's going to still be dropping pretty fast. Okay. The tide chart brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn Funeral Home and Cemetery. We're in those neap tides. They're actually going to just flat out, not much, so it's going to be according to what the wind's going to be doing. We'll have the marine forecast going to be coming out of north-northeast at about 20 today, and looks like the same thing tomorrow. Now, looking at a long-range forecast for next week, I've just checked the National Weather Service 5 to 10-day forecast, and it looks like it's got rain every day, a chance of rain every day. So, you know, this is saying about March. The old-timers used to say, you know, March comes in like a lion and leaves like a lamb. And that's been so true in so many years. So it'll be stormy and windy and all, and the good days, you just have to pick out those good days and tell your boss on a good day you want to go fishing. I'm sure they'll understand. Okay? Also, this time we'd like to do the fish and game forecast brought to us by Mark Cowart. I'm going to get it set up right here on air. And we do all kinds of things on Panhandle Outdoors. Let's check this out. These times now are you know, relevant to what's going on also with the weather as far as the wind and the barometric pressure for fronts coming through and all. So, but these times are looking good. That top time, that fish looks like a little bit out of place, but we're looking from 12:12 to 2:12. Okay, right around noontime. Those 2 hours, the 2 hour block right there, right after lunch. And then tonight will be from right about 12 o'clock to 2 o'clock. So really about 12 hours apart there. Mark's number is 832-6000. My bet is that Mark and Michael will be red fishing this weekend. All right, so look, I just got off the phone with Kerry at the pier, and of course, you know, March is when we start looking for these Spanish mackerel. I'm going to talk more about it during the fishing report, but you know, he was saying the water temperature out there is 61 also, so it's relevant that both areas have a 61 degree mark. And he was saying, you know, maybe he's thinking, and this is all conjecture on my part and his part. Maybe within the next 2 weeks, we should start getting some Spanish mackerel in, according to his records and according to what's going on. So they'll be catching them at the pier. And we'll talk more about that later. Let's go and take a break now and come back and talk about it. Okay, welcome back. Glad you're with us on this Friday morning. Hope you get ready for a big weekend. There's be some good outdoor things going on. Let's start the segment off with some pictures here. Got a couple, don't have a lot, but it's some interesting pictures here. This first one is not a fish, it's not a deer head, it is a pigeon. And this pigeon, Justin Leake sent this in. Justin, Panama City Inshore.com, but somehow he's 7 miles offshore. So he's going to have to change the name of the fishing outfit if he keeps going offshore like that. But look what a beautiful day he had to get offshore. But this pigeon lit on his boat, and it was really thirsty, and looked at it. See the leg band down there? That's a racing pigeon, and he checked it out, and he found out that pigeon somewhere from Oklahoma, and how he's out there in the Gulf of Mexico. But the pigeons are fascinating creatures. And you know, the pigeons go back. I was looking up, go back 3,000 years. If you read any kind of history about the pigeons doing different things and all, you know, they used them. Genghis Khan used them. I was looking. Let's see. Genghis Khan used them. I looked out. Julius Caesar used them, and all the battles. They would just send messages back and forth. Of course, the pigeons would only go one way back to home then, but they have racing pigeons now. Even as far as recent as World War I and World War II, they were using pigeons to carry messages. So it's a fascinating bird, and one of the earliest recorded birds used for something like that. They use them for racing now, and it's not a lot of people do it, but it's fun. Obviously, Justin said that one had a lot of was really thirsty and drank a lot of water. So I just thought that was fascinating. All kinds of things going on in the Gulf of Mexico. So one of the things, too, I want to go ahead and show cobia now is right around the corner. This is what you're going to see when the cobia coming in. A lot of guys that are looking for cobia are going to be looking for these big rays. And look at this picture here of all the rays behind that cobia. What happened? The wings of that cobia, of that ray, they'll stay right on the bottom, and that wing starts kicking up that sand a little bit. And these cobia are just trailing right behind them because all kind of little snails and mollusks and all are knocked up out of the sand, and those cobia will feed on them. That's why they always hang around with them, okay? This next picture, this is for you guys getting up, shaking your head, and want to know your responsibility as a husband. Well, right here in the Bible, it tells you what you should be doing. All men should make coffee for their women. It says right here in the Bible, Hebrew. I showed that in my class yesterday, and they got a kick out of it. Now, coming up, this is important. Now, Northside Baptist Church will be giving their wild game cookout. They do a low country boil over here. It's going to be March the 13th. That's on a Thursday, just a couple of weeks away now, 5 o'clock. And it's $10 per person. A guest speaker. Now, I was fortunate enough to be their guest speaker last year. They stepped it up a notch. This year, they have Rick Burgess coming in. Now, if you ever listen to Rick and Bubba on the radio in the morning, a lot of people listen to Rick and Bubba. I've heard Rick speak before, and he is an awesome speaker. A couple of years ago, I heard him, and he gives a talk about his life and all. He was a big college football player. His dad was a coach, and a remarkable man, strong Christian man, and he and his wife lost their son in a swimming pool accident, and a young son, like 3 years old. And to hear him tell that story, that would just give you goosebumps, how his faith got him through that. So I would urge you to come to Northside Baptist. I'm going to talk about it some more. I'm going to be there. The food is great, and those guys just have a great time. And then to hear Rick, there's going to be icing on the cake. So that's coming up in a couple of weeks. So please come to that. Also, tomorrow night, I don't have anything else to do over at the Biophilia Center. They're having a little special on a black bear, 10 o'clock to 3 o'clock, and they charge admission of that. But the Biophilia Center on Highway 20 over there toward Freeport. Okay, a neat place over there. And one of the things, you've always been asked to choose the lesser of two evils. But when you got weevils together, you choose the lesser of two weevils. Okay, I've got to get some puns in the morning. All right, here's how about a good fishing picture. This young lady here, she's fishing with her dad. I think this is cool. This Charlene Rushing fishing with her dad. Look who caught the biggest fish, the old pro. Good job there, Charlene. All right, then, and then the next one, we're going to talk about that later, about the red snapper. This is exciting news about the red snapper allocation has been increased by the feds now. We know what the state's going to do, but the federal guys have increased it, and that's just something really, really good. Okay, let's show one more. Spring is here, and this happens to every one of us. You have your truck parked, and it's going to you walk around and everything, get it hooked up. Spring is coming, watch your shins. This happens to a lot of people, so just be aware of that when you start hooking your boat up. That's painful. All right, let's take this break, and we'll be right back. All right, welcome back. I always every now and then like to throw in a little health tip in there. We always want to try to live a little bit healthier in our lifestyle and all. Today, I'm going to mention one, and I've started doing this this year with one of my New Year's resolutions. I've started talking about coffee. We just had that about Hebrew and all. In my coffee, instead of putting sugar, I've started putting a teaspoon of raw honey. and it's really good. At first, I was reluctant to try it because you're a creature of habit and all. And folks, I won't have it any other way. And in addition, it turns that coffee into a health drink. Just stop and think about it. So I'm tickled every morning to put a little bit of honey. So give it a try. But you want to use raw, unfiltered sugar. Honey, because when you get it filtered and all, it takes away all the health benefits from it. So now you can tell everybody you had a health drink for breakfast. Okay. Now, let's go to this email here, Mr. Chester. I would like to say thank you, your family and your staff, for all your and also your special guest you have. Not only is Panhandle Outdoors an interesting and informative show, I haven't missed a show for 2 years, but now we had a chance to enjoy a grouper and shrimp dinner with my family thanks to you and Tarpon Dock Seafood by winning a $20 gift card. How awesome is that? Thank you, Steve Saps from Port St. Joe, and so glad that you had an opportunity to run there at Tarpon Dock and enjoy that fresh seafood. We had some good stuff there the other day too. Now, the hunter safety courses, now we've talked about them. They're all week. They're this weekend. They're all over the Panhandle, so be aware of that. And just read last night, FWC sent a notice that they're having a hunter safety course in Gaston County also. That's next weekend. So a lot of people are going to some of these local ones in all the other counties this weekend. And in March, and we've talked about it before, March is a busy month for outdoorsmen. I always call March the takeoff month. February you're just sitting there in February wanting to take off, but in March we start taking off, and all kinds of things going on. I'm looking at stuff, not just in the outdoors with the spring developing and flowers blooming and turkey season and all that, but all these banquets and all are coming up. This National Wild Turkey Federation next Saturday, March 14th, is over here in Bluntstown, and I've talked about it before, so put that on your calendar. Liberty and Calhoun County especially, but I'm sure they'll take anybody. Also next weekend is opening of youth turkey hunt, and that's going to be all over this area here, South Highway 20, all kind of places to go hunting and all. Also now North Side, the Baptist, we just mentioned theirs will be March the 19th. Now this coming Thursday, March the 12th, this is over here in Gulf County, the Gulf County Sportsmen's Association. They're having their big one at the St. Joe Centennial Building. It's going to be starting at 5 p.m. local time. That's Eastern time in Port St. Joe, 4 o'clock our time. And they'll start off. I've been to that one several times before, and that is a fun banquet. They'll have Apalachicola oysters with appetizers and a table full of people. And they'll have raffles. I think I read here they give away several $1,000s of over $20,000 worth of contribution prizes will be distributed. So that's a good deal there. So this is just in March now, and then of course the following weekend after youth turkey hunt, on March the 21st, it will be the opening of spring gobbler season, and that's just in the wood side. Now you start thinking about what's going on the water side. These Spanish are going to be coming in. I've always liked to use the March the 20th date when a lot of them get here, and they'll be coming in like Karen and I talked about a while ago at the pier. They'll be coming in at different times, sort of spread out, sporadic, but be aware of that, okay? Also, Women's History Month. February is Black History Month. March is Women's History Month, and I got tickled because the state park is honoring women's history, and they mentioned one of the state parks that's named after a lady, Marjorie Kennan Rawlings, who wrote The Yearling. And the state park is down at Cross City, and I've been to that state park. It's fascinating if you like history, and I just want to recommend that maybe as one of your spring or summer trips, because you go in there, you sit down right at the same area where she sat, the same table and the same typewriter that she used to type out the book The Yearling, and it shows how the farm life in the 1930s here as a Florida cracker and all in that area in Central Florida. Fascinating state park, and really interesting to visit. So that's one of the things I was going to throw in. Now, shark fishing, let's talk about that real quick, because a lot of people were talking about it with of course, that great white shark. And I talked to the boys who caught it. We're going to try to get them to come on the show when things settle down and talk about just shark fishing in general, because these guys are very conscientious about tagging and releasing their sharks. They don't keep very many of the sharks. They try to keep them healthy and get them back out there so they can catch them again, just like our bass fishermen. But I was explaining to my students, now the big thing, you have teams of shark fishermen. It's not like just one or two boys going out there and trying to catch a shark at midnight. Now it's a team of them, and each guy has a special job. And if you're a rookie on a team, it's like being on a race car team. The rookie starts off at the bottom. Well, on a shark fishing team, the rookie is the one whose job is to be a runner. The runner is a person who takes the bait out about 11 o'clock at night, a whole 5-gallon bucket full of bloody bait, and you take it out in a kayak and you go about 300 yards offshore. And you hope the waves are not too, because you don't want to turn over, you hope the waves are not too rough. But if you turn over, you're in trouble. But a rookie is one that actually takes the bait out there, gets them chummed up, and actually drops a hook about 300 yards offshore, and that's where they caught that great white. It wasn't really close inshore, 300 yards off. So if you're interested in shark, you might want to put a team together and catching them and all. And it's going to be fascinating to see what happens. Now more people are doing that, and a lot more people are releasing them. So I was telling my students, if you want to get in, you're going to have to be the runner. That changed a lot of their minds right away. The excitement went out of it. Okay, let's get ready for our drawing from Tarpon Dock Seafood. They're located right downtown here in Panama City. Good, fresh seafood. I get a lot out of there, and we had some oysters there last week, and they were good. Okay, and also some shrimp. All right, then the first drawing now will be that $20 gift certificate, and the second will be the red snapper. Now, I'm really excited about that red snapper allotment with a federal. That's a big deal. We're going to talk more about that later. Okay, the winner of the $20 is going to be Debbie Harris. Debbie Harris, right here, $20. And the big red snapper is going to be, I'm going to get them stuck together. It's going to be Jimmy Fields up there in Bluntstown. So we got a local winner and a winner up there in Bluntstown. I said $20 and red snapper. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and take our break and get set up for our famous Friday fishing forecast. So you stay tuned. Welcome back to the famous Friday fishing forecast. It's also like a fishing report on what's happened this week and a forecast for the upcoming week and weekend. So one of the things, if you look back on last Saturday, we talked about how tough it was the previous week on red fishing, and a week ago, last Saturday at that big redfish tournament they had over the Emerald Coast Redfish Club, had over there at Tyndall Bridge, and a lot of the guys fished the East Bay area and went to some other places too. Remember, they had 17 boats fishing that, and 11 boats did not weigh in a redfish, and all 17 of those parties, all 17 boats were good red fishermen. So it was tough last Saturday. If you remember, the weather was tough and all, but that's a great thing about fishing. So those same guys that go out tomorrow and catch a bunch of redfish. It's just like that. So we'll have those days, but it's just, last week was slow. This week very similar too. And I do want to mention the wind. Is going to be coming out northeast, and we got some rain coming. So you're going to hit some spotty places. But before we get back to Spanish mackerel, and we don't want to do overkill on Spanish, but let's go over to Choctawhatchee Bay. I feel like we don't spend enough time on Choctawhatchee Bay, and we're going to start over in Niceville area because we have viewers all the way that fish a lot. A lot of viewers that fish Choctawhatchee Bay, and you want to just familiarize yourself with different areas. Niceville is a pretty town. I don't know if you ever spend much time there, but you have Boggy Bayou coming up into there. Boggy Bayou, a lot of folks. There it is, right there. See that area in there? And of course, you got docks all along the fish for redfish and trout. And Valparaiso, we have viewers over in that area. Coming on down, we're going to work ourselves in an eastward direction of Choctawhatchee Bay. We're on the northern shoreline, coming across the bridges and all these bayous, and coming on over here at Choctaw Beach. Mullet fishing is good all along the beach in this area here. If you're wading out, talk some guys over there. Okay, let's go to stop at this spot right here. This is a cool place right in here. Okay, this is Basin Bayou. This is where Nick's restaurant is. And this is where this tournament they're going to have in May. This big redfish tournament. It'll be right there, Nick's, and we've covered that before. And Basin Bayou is right in that area right there. Okay, then if you're coming on down, okay, we'll just go back out a little bit. This is all in Choctawhatchee Bay. Okay, and then you have your bridge over here, but then you start getting into the area where the Choctawhatchee River starts coming into the system over on the eastern end of the bay, and you have some really good fishing at all these areas here. You have bunker and all these places in here, all these islands, and they have a boat ramp. I don't know if we can show the boat ramp right in this area right here. So you got the Choctawhatchee Bay is a good area to fish. The reports, I get scattered reports. I don't get a report every week from over there, but it's been the same thing over here. They're still catching some reds and all but it's been rough over there also. Now I talked to Kerry at the pier earlier. He said the squid fishing at Panama City Beach Pier has been real well. They're also catching some redfish there, and also he talked about, you know, in his records, the Spanish will be coming in at a time that really at any time, but they're going to be scattered, and that's the thing you got to understand about the Spanish mackerel. When they do come in, they're going to be scattered. Their pattern, now they'll be coming along the coastline. They'll have one good day at the pier, and then it's going to turn cold, and it's going to turn them off. And then there's 3 or 4 cool days, and it's going to warm back up, and they're going to turn back on. And what the peak of the Spanish season to me, the most fun is usually the first part of April, the last week or 2 of March. A lot of times around spring break, when you get those Spanish, and they'll come into the bay on good strong high tides. They'll come through the pass, and they'll follow those bait fish, and they'll come into the St. Andrew Bay system. And when they do, that's when everybody and their brother is catching them. I'm going to show you here. We'll start talking about different areas, but right there here in St. Andrew Bay, once they get in here, they're going to be, and you'll see boats trolling. They're going to come through the pass right here. A lot of surf fishermen will catch them right here, all along through here. And once they get out of here, they're going to get all scattered. You're going to catch them from Beach Drive, Redfish Point. My best luck has always been right in this area, right in here, just trolling, making big circles along with everybody else. And we'll talk about that as the time gets close. But be aware that when that happens, you need to be ready and just get out there on a Saturday morning, and take some kids with you, and just get out there. And also take a fly rod with you if you have time. Sometimes they're so thick you can slow down from your trolling and just stop and just throw a fly rod at them. So all kind of good things are coming up. So just be patient. Freshwater fishing, let's talk about it in a second. 2 weeks ago, I heard some good reports from Howard Creek, and I hadn't heard any report this past week, but the river's a little bit high. It's falling out, but we're right around the corner from really strong freshwater fishing, especially coming up in April. April and May will be prime time. So, you know, the big thing you can do is get your boat ready, make sure you got some good clean gas in there, make sure your trailer, you got bearings, make sure they're greased up really good. You don't want anything to happen when you're ready to go fishing. You want to go fishing. You don't want to have a breakdown. So get all that stuff done now. Don't wait any longer. It'll be a good weekend to do it. Okay, I got to wrap things up. As always, I want to tell you all how much we appreciate you watching our show. Appreciate your supporting our sponsors, and we'll be seeing you. Have a great day on the water. Do something good for someone else, and God bless.
Thanks for joining us for Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester. Panhandle Outdoors features hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.